sometimes there are stories in history. They're happening all around you that if you'll just pay attention to them, there's life there for you. There's a reason that when Natalie Holloway disappeared in Aruba, I took my little girls who were below 10 and just above 10. I said, sit down here with me and watch this story. I'm going to let her story come alongside of you. I'm going to throw it out alongside your life so that you can learn from Natalie. The story of Natalie is that she was a good girl, never missed Bible study. She called her Bible study leader, kind of marched through church. But then she goes, and apparently she was a pretty good girl the first part of her week on her senior trip in Aruba. And then that last night, the story goes, Natalie decided just to dip her toe in the waters that were out there to see if there really was life at Carlos and Charlie's. And I want you to watch her story. That you can make a lifetime of good decisions, as the story goes with Natalie, and in a moment, make a choice that could cost you everything. I set my kids down alongside the Michael Jackson story. And I just said, hey, look, here's the story of Michael Jackson, the king of pop. The guy that the whole world wanted to be like and adored. And this guy was so miserable, he had to have people artificially put him to sleep. He had to pay people to act illegally around him to make his life livable. So I don't know what you think where you're going to find life is, but it's not by being the king of pop or rock or fame. There's a story there. Let me throw it alongside of you. So pursue what you want. If that happens to you, great. Just don't think it's going to be a good God. Michael Vick, I had my boys. I sat down there. I let them watch 60 Minutes. I said, I'm going to throw this parable right beside you. Learn from Michael Vick. Michael Vick says that how'd he get there? Well, he said, I was with my friends and things started to happen and I just, quote, didn't step up. One of the things I teach my young sons about being a man, I've got a definition for them, and the very first thing that men do is they step up. And I said, you see that? I just froze it. I couldn't have paid for that kind of advertising for my little motto. See what happens when you're not a man? You don't step up? When you fear your friends and don't fear God? Let me cast Michael Vick's story alongside of you. Now here's the thing. This week, as I was thinking about this, I grabbed some quotes about history. And we all know some of the quotes about history, right? The most famous one is that those who don't learn from history are what? Doomed to repeat it. We know that. The same guy that said that, by the way, has another quote about history that's not quite as commonly quoted. And this is what he said. He said, a country without a memory is a country of madmen. A country that forgets that excessive spending and brokering your future on debt and leverage, who goes through a tremendous financial crisis, one like the country has never experienced before, and thinks the way to get out of it is not discipline and frugality and sacrifice, but more leverage, more debt, is a country of madmen. In other words, those who keep doing the same thing and expect different results are what? Madmen. Yes, insane. It's the definition of insanity. Because we don't learn. And what you can do every now and then is your country doesn't have to go through these cycles unless you're madmen. Maybe you can just cast a story alongside our story and learn from it, lest we are doomed to repeat it. And folks, mark my word, the course we're on, we have not seen the worst economic crisis this country has ever faced. So this is not about Washington. This is not about the Republicans. This is not about the Democrats. This is about you and I. It's about you and I demanding that people that represent us aren't madmen. Pay attention. Learn. Don't repeat the mistakes. And that starts, by the way, with us not looking to be entitled. That starts, by the way, with us being wise. It starts with us not having ourselves fed by the next possession of things and increasing our own consumer debt. It starts with us dealing with our own debt so that when this thing craters, we are ready. Don't be madmen.